Human beings really are a vulnerable species of animal. It's our brains that have sent us to the top of the food chain, brains that often tell us to stay away from animals that can tear us to shreds. Animals like the ones in this very video. What are some of the biggest animals you've seen in person? Let me know in the comments below. And with that said, I'm your host James, and these are the top 10 unsettling giant animals caught on camera. Alright, we're gonna kick this list off with the smallest animal on this list, although it's by no means small for what it is. In this video uploaded by Exotic's Lair, we see the cameraman come across a giant forest ant, and boy oh boy does this ant live up to its name. Imagine having a picnic in the forest and having a trail of these ants invade. Hailing from the forests of Southeast Asia, these ants can get pretty big. I mean, just look at it. At one point he puts it in a plastic container and you can really see the size of it compared to his hand. It's crazy. A regular sized everyday vanilla ant coming across one of these would be like one of us coming across one of the giants from Attack on Titan. Poor ants. They live in a world where they might actually meet a giant version of their own kind, let alone, you know, all the other massive sized animals they have to deal with. Just imagine if there was a species of actual giant human beings roaming around somewhere in the forest. Number 9, the giant golden-crowned flying fox. This is a species of megabat, native to the Philippines, and is one of the largest bat species in the world. Its wingspan can reach up to 5.5 feet, or 1.7 meters. So this thing could easily wrap its wings around a small child. Now, luckily, these are one of those bat species that have those cute, almost dog-like faces. If these things looked more like vampire bats, I'd straight up just never go to this part of the world. Watching these things fly through the air, though, they look like gargoyles instead of bats. They have some pretty gnarly claws, too. They also, unfortunately, don't eat meat, which is nice. The last thing you'd ever want to see is, you know, watching one of these things swoop down and try to take a chomp out of your head or like fly off with your dog or something. The giant centipede. All right, so try to watch this next clip without feeling your skin crawl. Not that you can really have much control over that, but just, I don't know, try to watch it without itching and just feeling icky. This is seeking out one of these adorable animals for yourself. Number 7, the coconut crab. So these are the largest terrestrial crabs on the planet. They can weigh up to 9 pounds and their legs can span more than 3 feet. It's not even just their size though. They have this creepy alien looking vibe going on. Their eyes also glow in the dark, which gives them a very eerie, otherworldly look. You can just imagine walking around the beach at night and seeing these glowing eyes staring back at you. Anyway, you'll find these monstrous creatures lurking in the tropical regions of the Indian and Pacific Oceans, so fair warning if you decide to take a trip out there. Just imagine sun tanning on the beach, you're half naked, you're as relaxed as ever, completely vulnerable, right? And then one of these things climbs over to you. Because yeah, again, they don't look like it, but these crabs chill out on land. You can find them climbing on trees, attacking birds, chilling on garbage cans, like in this image here. Yeah, no thanks. I'm really sorry. Everyone's gonna have these creepy crawly nightmares after watching this video. Those are the worst. You know, when you wake up and you just feel like there's stuff on you and you like check under your sheets just expecting there to be some kind of bug or something. I hate those mornings. So yeah, let me know if that happens to you tomorrow. Number 6, the golf course gator. All right, we've talked about a lot of animals that are large, but only unsettling for just being kind of icky, but this is an animal that could easily devour you. This video was taken on a golf course in Naples, Florida, and shows what looks to be a dinosaur walking across the green. It almost looks fake, like it could be CG or something, like your eyes just can't even believe what they're seeing, but this is not a scene from Jurassic Park. This is actually a massive alligator walking across a golf course. At one point, the cameraman tells his buddy to, quote, get next to it for perspective. How about just run? Or at least stay as far away as possible if you really have to film it. We can see how big it is. Foliage in the background and the hole, that's perspective enough. I don't play golf, so what's the hole called? It's just the dirt. You could see it. It's walking right next to it. It's like the size of it. It's insane. Just imagine if this thing stopped and turned its head and just started booking it towards them. Gators can actually move surprisingly fast if they want to. Not as fast as the average human, thankfully, but fast enough, you know, enough to give you a heart attack if you saw it running towards you. Next up, we have an elephant seal attacking a car. Elephant seals can reach up to 13 feet in length with a weight of a whopping 4,500 pounds. Just imagine this big boy like throwing all of its size on you. You'd be flattened into it like a cartoon pancake. Speaking of cartoons, this little guy's name is Homer, which is exactly what he should be named. I can't think of a better name for this guy. But just look at how these cars shake as it smashes its head into them. It doesn't even look like it's trying that hard. It's just having a bit of fun here. So again, just picture it crashing its 4,500 pound frame into your measly human body. We just really forget how fragile we are sometimes. As threatening as this guy is though, he somehow manages to look cute and lovable at the same time. I'd much rather meet Homer here than the next animal we have on the list. Yeah, we're back to the creepy crawlies with the giant Weta. These massive insects can be found in New Zealand. There are 11 species of giant Weta, with the largest being the Little Barrier Island giant Weta. Now, these things won't bite you, they aren't poisonous or anything like that, but I'm just ish. In this YouTube video uploaded by Minos Nature New Zealand, we see our cameraman come across one of these giant crickets in the daytime, which is rare. They typically only come out at night. At one point, he puts his hand beside it for perspective, and yeah, surprise, surprise, as you can see, it's big. I'd just be scared waiting for this thing to get startled and hop off. Apparently, they're too heavy to hop like regular crickets, but I'd still be bracing myself for it just in case. I haven't been able to find any audio of them chirping either, but I imagine it's not quite as relaxing as regular crickets chirping. It's gotta be like deafening. Here's one you've probably seen if you tune into Shark Week every summer. At number 3, we have Deep Blue. Deep Blue is something of a celebrity shark. She's a great white who's known for her massive size. She's around 20 feet in length and is estimated to weigh around 4,400 pounds. She's one of the biggest great white sharks ever filmed. She's basically the real-life Jaws, except she's thankfully far less aggressive. In fact, she seems quite docile. There's footage of divers swimming alongside her. A couple of them have even touched her fins. Not a smart idea, not even just for the obvious fact that you're getting way too close to an animal that could eat you like a 2-bite brownie, but it's also just kind of harassing the animal. But speaking of that, at number 2, we have a giant anaconda. In this next video, we see a crew of fishermen pursuing the Loch Ness Monster in the Santa Maria River in Brazil. Honestly, it really does look like some kind of mythical sea serpent moving through the water. Just look at how girthy its body is. It's likely that the snake had recently eaten. That's why it has this big swollen section of its body. But even without that though, the rest of it is also huge. It's obviously digesting something. One of these guys grabs the snake by the end of the tail and they try to drag it out of the river, which is awful. They ended up receiving a pretty hefty fine for this, rightfully so. Not only is it mean to the animal though, but is this really the type of creature you want to piss off? Sure, anacondas, they're not poisonous, but their bodies are basically just one big muscle, and their jaws are also very powerful. I can't even imagine how long this one is. We never actually see its head, but from what we do see of it, the thing is an absolute beast. And taking that number 1 spot, we have a giant squid. Giant squids are really cool because at one point in time, they were simply thought of as a myth until it was discovered that they do indeed exist. Makes me wonder what other deep sea creatures there are dwelling down there. Now, there isn't a whole lot of giant squid footage as they inhabit the deep depths of the sea, but in this video taken by divers off the west coast of Japan, they captured a live giant squid on camera. This one measuring around 2.5 meters, or just over 8 feet, which is crazy. Like, that's bigger than any person on, well, not any person on Earth, but most people on Earth. It's scary imagining swimming next to something this large, but at the same time, there's also something so peaceful about the way it moves through the water. It's very beautiful. This isn't even the biggest giant squid on record though, not even close. Somewhere in the depths of the sea, there's like a real life kraken floating around, I bet. Hopefully one day we can see footage of that. With all that said though, I've been your host James, and I'll catch you, yes you specifically, in the next video.